So you've probably heard by now, 3 people have tragically lost their lives following a serious fire at a single-storey pavilion in White City in West London. The fire brigade received multiple calls just before 7 o'clock last night, and it ended up about 100 firefighters and 15 fire engines in attendance. 3 men were rescued from the building, but sadly 2 were pronounced dead at the scene and a 3rd died in hospital. The cause of the fire is now under investigation by the specialist London Fire Brigade investigators alongside the Met Police. And first and foremost, my thoughts are with the families and the friends of those that lost their lives, as well as everybody else that's been affected by this shocking incident. At this stage, we don't know exactly what happened. We don't know how the fire started. We don't know how quickly it developed. We don't know the use of the premises or the circumstances that prevented those men from escaping. It's therefore important that we don't speculate or make accusations before the investigation has been completed. However, as somebody who works within the fire safety industry, the fact that 3 people have died in a single-storey building inevitably raises some pretty serious questions. Was there a suitable fire strategy in place for the building? Had a suitable and sufficient fire risk assessment been completed? And more importantly, had its findings been acted upon? Were the people inside identified within that assessment, including anybody that may have been sleeping, unfamiliar with the building, vulnerable, or otherwise unable to escape without assistance? Was there an appropriate AFD, automatic fire detection and alarm system, in place? If a system was installed, did it provide warning early enough for everybody to react and safely leave the building? Was it correctly designed for the use and the layout of the premises? Was it being properly tested and maintained? What happened to the fire escape routes? Were there enough exits? Were they clearly identified? Were they immediately available and free from obstruction? Could the doors be opened easily without needing a key, code or specialist knowledge? Had the routes been adequately protected against the spread of fire and smoke, or did conditions develop so quickly that they became unusable? There are also important questions around emergency planning. Did the people inside know what to do if the fire occurred? Had they been given any fire safety information? Were evacuation procedures established and understood? Were fire drills or emergency arrangements appropriate for the way the building is being occupied? These are not accusations, they are exactly the types of questions that competent investigators will need to answer. There may also be factors that are not yet publicly known, and the eventual findings could be very different from what anybody currently assumes. But this tragedy reinforces an important point. Fire safety cannot be judged simply by the size or the height of the building. A premises does not have to be a tower block, a hospital, a factory, or any other large commercial building to present a serious risk to life. A small, familiar, or single-storey building can still become deadly. If a fire develops rapidly, warning is delayed, escape routes are compromised, or the people inside just don't know how to respond. Every premises needs to consider who could be inside, how a fire might start and spread, how quickly it would be detected, how people would be warned, whether they could escape safely, whether the escape routes would remain usable, what arrangements are needed for vulnerable occupants, whether the precautions are inspected, tested and reviewed. A fire risk assessment should never be treated as a document that is completed, filed away and forgotten. It should reflect on how the building is genuinely being used, the people who are actually inside it, and the risks that they may face. The same applies to AFDs, automatic fire detection. emergency lighting, fire doors, escape routes, and staff training. Simply having these measures on paper is not enough. They have to be appropriate, operational, and understood. The investigation will hopefully establish exactly what happened and whether anything could have prevented this devastating loss of life. Until then, this should serve as a sobering reminder to every landlord, building owner, employer, responsible person. No premises is too small to require proper fire safety planning, because when fire safety arrangements fail, are overlooked, or do not reflect the real use of a building, the consequences can be truly catastrophic.